Welcome to the Jaguar Podcast, a show where we discuss all things related to Duval County's finest NFL football team, the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Move 42, set, fight!
Duval, baby! Hey, everybody, it's Andrew, and welcome to episode 86 of the Jaguar Podcast. In this episode, we're going to be discussing whether the Jacksonville Jaguars should sign Tampa Bay Buccaneers quarterback Jameis Winston. So let's jump into it. Before we start off again, got to give a shout out to our healthcare workers, nurses and doctors, policemen, firefighters, and, servicemen and women. Thank you so much for helping us throughout this coronavirus pandemic and crisis. We really appreciate it, and I appreciate it as well. So, cheers and kudos to you all. All right, so let's jump into it. There's been a lot of talk about whether the Jaguars should sign Jameis Winston because, Tom Brady is now, the lead guy over in Tampa Bay. He's going to be the starting quarterback likely. So, a lot of people have been like, well, maybe we should sign Jameis Winston. I don't think we should. I think that's a bad decision. No, and no. I am a Gardner Minshew guy. I support Minshew Mania.
Just heart and balls, man. Heart and balls.
And that's the bottom line. But I do have some, substantiation behind that, right? Like, we have to look at Jameis Winston as a whole, as a quarterback and a player. I just think he turns the ball over so much. I mean, it's just like, it reminds me a lot of Blake Bortles. I mean, I'm not saying they're exactly alike, but I'm saying that it reminds me a lot. Bortles threw a lot of interceptions. I feel like Bortles and Jameis Winston don't know how to read defense very well. It's just bad mechanics from Jameis Winston. He doesn't put a lot of zip on the ball. He makes some bad decisions, some bad throws, and I just don't think it would be a smart move. I mean, I don't know where this is coming from. I don't know why people think that we should sign Jameis Winston. We've invested in Gardner Minshew. He's proven that he can be the starter. Again,
just heart and balls, man. Heart and balls.
And I don't know why we would introduce Jameis Winston into the mix right now, and create more drama at the quarterback position, because we need that, right? God knows we don't need that right now. And the guy's going to ask for a lot of money. When I look at his contract, I think he's going to ask for, like, people predict, when I was reading about his contract on Spot Track, they think he may ask for $30 million, and we just don't have the cap space for that. I mean, we have other positions that we need, to fill, and I just don't think Jameis Winston's going to be the guy. When you look at his stats, he has some pretty killer, stats. I mean, you look at it. I mean, his career stats. I think he's got 19,000, 737 pass yards. 121 touchdowns, and then a overall QB rating of 86.9. I mean, yeah, he's got good stats, but I just don't think he's going to be the guy for Jacksonville. I don't think he's like the next David Gerard or anything, or I don't see, like, in the big picture why we would go with Jameis Winston right now. And, institute a quarterback controversy, because there's going to be one, right? Like, I mean, Gardner Minshew's coming up on his second year now, and then you introduce Jameis Winston into the mix. That's just going to create chaos, And I don't think we're going to get anything out of it, right? I mean, who knows, even if this coaching staff is going to be, here the season after next. I mean, depending on the record, Doug Marrone and the whole, coaching staff could be gone. So I just don't see the value in bringing in Jameis Winston. I wouldn't go that route. I would go to the draft, draft, a quarterback. There's a lot of different quarterbacks that are going to be in this draft, a lot of pedigree quarterbacks that are bringing a lot of value, and you have to build them up, and you're not going to win in a year, right? You're not going to win in a year. You have to build them up, get them experience, and develop them. And I think, like I've said before, I think Jalen Hurts is kind of the sleeper quarterback in this draft. A lot of people are going towards Justin Herbert. I don't know. I just don't feel like he's going to be that guy. I think he's kind of, I don't know. I just feel like he's not a clutch quarterback. I feel like he's going to be a quarterback that turns the ball over a lot, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't have a crystal ball, so if I'm wrong, feel free.
Idiot.
To troll me on that one. But, let me know how you feel about this, discussion, whether we take Jameis Winston or not. I mean, I don't think it's a good move on a variety of different levels, but, leave me a comment on the YouTube video or podcast episode. Subscribe to the channel. If you're bored, come by my Twitter feed at Jaguar Podcast. This is a podcast, like I keep saying. Come by Apple Podcasts, leave me a review, leave me some feedback. It always helps me when I put together these episodes. Stay away from the coronavirus. Wash your hands. Stay safe, everybody. Don't go crazy. Go Jags, and I'll see you next time.
Let me get that. JYD coming up with the big sack. Quarterbacks beware, we on the prowl. Game day night, you could hear it in our growl. Intimidation on to keep their hearts racing. Eating other teams live on TV front of the nation. Spectacular defensive.
This episode is available on the Jaguar Podcast YouTube channel. So if you stop by, make sure to subscribe and give this video a like. Also, these episodes are available on iTunes, Podbean, Spotify, SoundCloud, Stitcher, and other major podcast distributors as well. So if you don't mind, please leave me a review and some feedback. I'd really appreciate that. If you'd like to connect with me on social media, my Twitter handle is @JagWarPodcast. I'm also on Facebook and Instagram. This is Andrew signing off. Cheers.